The offseason has been filled with trade rumors involving Moses Moody, but a recent gesture from Stephen Curry may have said more than any report ever could. The Golden State Warriors superstar traveled to Arkansas, Moody's home state, to participate in a charity golf tournament organized by the Young Wing and his foundation. That trip, willingly made by one of the most recognizable athletes in the world, speaks volumes about the bond between the two players and, perhaps more importantly, about Moody's standing within the Warriors organization going into the 2026-27 season. Hey, what's up, everyone? Before we jump into everything today, that like button right there is what decides if this video hits hundreds or thousands of people. 1 second is all it takes, but the impact on this channel is massive. Go ahead and hit that like button right now. Seriously, it's the simplest thing you can do, and honestly, the best way to back this content up, because every single like pushes us further. So hit it now. Throughout the offseason, Moody's name was frequently mentioned in trade discussions as the Warriors pursued multiple star players in free agency. His contract was viewed as a useful tool, a tradable asset that could help create salary flexibility or attract bigger names to San Francisco. There were serious reports indicating that Golden State was willing to move Moody's deal in order to free up financial space, particularly during negotiations in the LeBron James pursuit. When James ultimately chose to sign with the Philadelphia 76ers, the trade speculation around Moody did not immediately disappear. There remained talk that his contract could still be used to acquire a meaningful roster upgrade heading into the new season. But Curry's decision to accept Moody's invitation and show up in Arkansas sent a signal that is hard to ignore. The two-time MVP is selected with his time and energy. He does not make personal appearances or public commitments on behalf of players he does not believe will be part of the team's future. His presence at the Arkansas golf event carried an unspoken but powerful message. Moses Moody is still a Golden State Warrior, and the franchise believes in him. Veteran journalist Marcus Thompson, too, of The Athletic, who spoke directly with both Curry and Moody, described the relationship between the two as genuine and meaningful. According to Thompson, Moody's character has earned him a secure place within the Warriors' ecosystem, a place that has remained intact even as other players have departed the franchise over the past several seasons. Moody suffered one of the most painful injuries of the 2025-26 season when he tore his patellar tendon in a late March game against the Dallas Mavericks. It was a gruesome, devastating setback, the kind that derails careers and shatters momentum. The timing made it particularly cruel, because it came in the middle of the best run of basketball Moody had ever played as a professional. In the games leading up to the injury, he had established himself as one of Golden State's most reliable contributors. He was averaging 12.1 points per game, adding 3.3 rebounds and 1.0 steal per contest, and shooting 40.1% from three-point range. That shooting percentage actually outpaced Curry's own mark of 39.3% from beyond the arc among players who attempted more than 33-pointers on the season, a remarkable achievement for a 24-year-old still developing his game. The silver lining, if there is one, is that the recovery process appears to be moving in a positive direction. Recent updates from within the Warriors organization suggest that Moody could be ready to return to court sometime around the All-Star break of the 2026-27 season. That timeline would give the team several months to manage without him, while also offering hope that he could contribute meaningfully in the second half of the year, potentially during the playoff push. For a player of Moody's age and caliber, that window of return is realistic and encouraging. The Warriors, for their part, are clearly comfortable betting on Moody's recovery. The franchise has spent this entire offseason largely running it back. 12 of their 13 players under standard contracts were also on the roster the previous year. That consistency reflects a belief in the current group and a willingness to stay the course rather than blow things up. Moody fits squarely within that philosophy. He is not just a roster piece. He is 24 years old, physically gifted, and showed during his best stretch of professional basketball that he has the tools to become a starting caliber player at this level. The patellar tendon tear is serious, but athletes of his age and conditioning have returned from similar injuries and continue to thrive. What Curry's Arkansas appearance ultimately represents is simple. The Warriors did not trade Moses Moody. They are not planning to trade Moses Moody, and the franchise's best player personally took time to show up for him during one of the hardest stretches of his career. That kind of support from a teammate of Curry's stature is not a small thing. It is a statement of confidence. When Moody eventually returns to the floor, he will do so with the full backing of the organization and the man who has defined the Warriors' identity for over a decade. For a young player rebuilding from injury, that foundation may matter more than any contract extension or public announcement ever could. The Golden State Warriors are heading into the 2026-27 season with one of the most familiar rosters in recent memory. 12 of the 13 players currently holding standard contracts were also on the team last year. The front office has made a clear organizational decision: run it back, stay together, and trust the core. But in the process of maintaining continuity, one significant gap has quietly emerged. The backup point guard position is now completely empty, and the clock is ticking on filling it properly before training camp begins. The departure that created this problem was quiet, but consequential. Pat Spencer, who served as the team's backup point guard last season, signed a two-way contract with the Phoenix Suns this offseason. Spencer was never a high-profile name, but he was a reliable presence off the bench who gave the Warriors a functional option behind Stephen Curry. Now that he is gone, Golden State enters the new season without a true backup at the one position. The void is real, and it needs to be addressed. In theory, the Warriors have a temporary solution sitting on the roster already. Jimmy Butler, the team's star small forward, is an elite playmaker and ball handler who can run second units effectively. During stretches last season when Curry needed rest, Butler handled primary playmaking duties with skill and confidence. He is not a point guard by position, but his vision, passing ability, and basketball IQ allow him to fill that role at a high level. If Butler were healthy and available for a full 82 games, the Warriors might be able to get away without signing a traditional backup point guard. But Butler suffered a torn ACL and will miss a significant portion of the upcoming season. That changes everything. The Warriors cannot afford to enter 2026-27 without a legitimate option at backup point guard, someone who can run the offense, create for teammates, and relieve pressure from Curry during games. The team currently has 2 roster spots remaining under standard contracts. Among the available options being discussed are veteran Russell Westbrook, shooter L.J. Cryer, and athletic guard Brandon Williams. Each player offers a different profile, and the choice between them reveals something important about what the Warriors actually need right now. Westbrook is the most recognizable name on the list, but the numbers make a compelling case against signing him. The 37-year-old has built his entire career on explosive athleticism, his ability to attack the rim, finish through contact, and outrun defenders. However, career-long shooting inefficiency from the field has always been a concern, and last season with the Sacramento Kings, his field goal percentage actually declined to 42.7%. For a team like Golden State, which runs an offense built on spacing, movement, and three-point shooting, a player who struggles to make shots efficiently and cannot space the floor is a fundamental mismatch. Beyond the efficiency concerns, Westbrook's age makes it difficult to project growth. At 37, what you see is what you get, and what you get is diminishing. Cryer is a different kind of player entirely. The 24-year-old stands 6 feet tall and possesses one of the quickest releases in the league. He is an outstanding movement shooter, the kind of player who thrives in Steve Kerr's system of off-ball cuts, relocation actions, and split-action plays. In many respects, the same offensive mechanisms that create open looks for Stephen Curry also work extremely well with Cryer. He will almost certainly have a role on this team in some capacity. The real question is whether the Warriors should upgrade his current two-way contract to a standard deal or keep him in that limited roster classification. The argument against using a full standard contract slot on Cryer is straightforward. He lacks the traditional point guard tools needed to run an offense. His ball handling under pressure and his ability to create for others out of pick-and-roll situations do not match the profile of a primary backup at the position. That brings a conversation to Brandon Williams, who represents the strongest fit given what Golden State actually needs. Williams is 26 years old and in the prime of his athletic development. Last season, he shot 47.2% from the field, an efficient two-point scorer who applies consistent rim pressure. 2 seasons ago, that number climbed to 52.1%, confirming his efficiency is not a fluke. He averaged 3.9 assists per game last season as well, placing him above all but 3 Warriors in terms of playmaking output last year. For a team that ranked 26 in points in the paint per game last season, adding a player who regularly attacks a basket and draws fouls addresses one of the roster's most glaring structural weaknesses. Williams also has the size and athleticism to defend multiple positions at the guard level. The Warriors reportedly showed interest in Williams early in free agency. If they have not yet extended him a fully guaranteed 1-year offer, now is the time. He is the most logical, most attainable, and most complementary option available on the open market. The backup point guard problem has an obvious solution. The Warriors just need to act on it before someone else does. The Golden State Warriors have no immediate trade plans on the table, but that does not mean they should stop searching. Even before Jimmy Butler tore his ACL, Golden State was considered one quality player short of being a legitimate championship contender. With Butler now set to miss a large portion of the 2026-27 season, the urgency to find a star-level upgrade to the trade market has only intensified. The Warriors need a player who can score at a high volume, relieve Stephen Curry of some of the offensive burden, and elevate the team's ceiling beyond a first-round playoff exit. For players in their athletic prime stand out as realistic and impactful trade targets, 2 of whom could potentially be acquired before the season tips off, and 2 who may become available once the new season gets underway. The first name on the list is guard Tyler Herro. Since the Warriors traded Jordan Poole several seasons ago, the team has struggled to find a guard capable of consistently scoring alongside Curry and operating as the primary offensive option when Curry rests. Herro, who turns 27 this season, fits that profile perfectly. He is an efficient scorer, a capable playmaker, and a proven shot maker who has demonstrated the ability to carry offensive responsibility on a nightly basis. His trade restriction lifts on September 6, which could make him available before the season begins. The situation in Milwaukee has also changed dramatically. After trading their franchise cornerstone this summer, the Bucks have entered a full rebuild. Their long-term plan appears to revolve around 2 2026 lottery picks who are both under 21 years old. Herro, entering the final year of his current deal at roughly $33 million annually, does not fit that timeline. He is almost certainly eager to compete for a championship, not develop alongside teenagers. The Warriors could offer draft compensation and salary matching pieces, and they could sweeten the deal by immediately extending Herro's contract upon acquiring him. The price will not be cheap. Herro's scoring ability makes him a legitimate trade commodity, but the fit alongside Curry is undeniable. The second target is small forward Trey Murphy III of the New Orleans Pelicans. Murphy is 26 years old, stands 6'8", and carries tremendous two-way upside. He is already a dangerous offensive player, particularly as a spot-up shooter and off-ball movement threat, and his length, athleticism, and defensive instinct suggest he has not yet reached his ceiling on the defensive end. If that part of his game clicks at the highest level, the Warriors could have a genuine two-way wing running alongside Curry, a combination that has historically been a championship formula in Golden State. Murphy's contract adds another layer of appeal. He is locked in at a bargain rate for 3 more years, with approximately $87 million remaining on his deal. For a team like the Warriors that is looking to compete now without sacrificing long-term flexibility, that kind of affordable production on a multi-year contract is extraordinarily valuable. The cost will be steep. Murphy should command at least 3 unprotected first-round picks, but Golden State must be willing to pay that price as long as the salary coming back does not include their most important young players. The third and fourth targets are connected and may only become available mid-season. Guard Jalen Suggs and small forward Franz Wagner currently play together for the Orlando Magic. According to reporting from Clutch Points, the Magic could pursue significant roster changes if the 2026-27 season unfolds poorly. The Eastern Conference has grown considerably more competitive, and Orlando's path to the playoffs is no longer guaranteed. If the Magic find themselves struggling in November or December, Golden State should be ready to move aggressively on both players. Wagner is 24 years old and entering his second season of a 5-year, $224.2 million contract. He is widely regarded as a slightly better all-around player than Murphy, a two-way wing with elite scoring ability, playmaking chops, and defensive versatility. His price tag in a trade would reflect that. Suggs, who just turned 25, brings a different kind of value. He is not an elite offensive creator, but he is considered one of the best defensive guards in the entire league. His motor anticipation and lateral quickness make him a nightmare for opposing ball handlers. He is currently in his second year of a 5-year, $150.5 million deal. Either player would represent a significant upgrade to Golden State's roster. The Warriors' trade chips in any of these deals would likely center around expiring contracts, most notably Kristaps Porzingis, whose 2027 to 28 salary is only $3 million guaranteed, making him an attractive financial vehicle for salary matching purposes. The franchise's lack of high-upside young players means that draft capital would need to carry much of the weight in negotiations. Rookie Axel Lendeborg is the one young asset the team would likely refuse to include. The draft capital cost could be immense. But the alternative, watching Stephen Curry's final championship window close without making a serious move, is far more costly in the long run.